Hey guys, welcome to RC Video Reviews on the 28th of July. Is it Friday yet? Wait, that's right, it is Friday. Thanks for that. I am glad it's Friday, man. I had a good week, and it was kind of a decompression week after the FMS event, so it was kind of easy going around here this week. Not a whole lot coming in, but there's a whole lot on the horizon. What else is new? Anyway, Bill was in first. He finally made it, man. Bill took it. I think it sounds like there might have been a bribe or a payoff. I don't know. Was there something happening on Discord I need to know about, Bill? Do you have to slide Freddie and Hobie a little cash to let them let you get up front there? I don't know what happened there. Midwest RC got in second. Mr. B FPV is third. Johan is in South Africa, and he's not going to make it tonight. He's going to catch it tomorrow. EQRC says, hello, pilots. I'm listening. Can I get an audio check, too, before we get too far in? Looks okay to me. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me all right. Henry A is here. Good day, everyone. How you doing, Henry? HB Jeff from Canada is here. Hello. The David Knutz from the great state of Texas is here. Hey, David. Rambo Flight Ken from Arizona, 114. We cooled off today. We had some rain this afternoon, so we're all the way down to 77 degrees. But tomorrow we're looking at like 110. So kind of crazy. But we get the added benefit of humidity in Florida. So that's I lived in Arizona for 5 years, so I kind of missed that no humidity atmosphere there. I really liked it. Hobie Kenobi's here. How you doing, Shane? Glad you could make it. Can I get a channels here as well? Hello. Stan Heaton. Howdy. And let's see. Haven't tried VTOLs yet. I'm about to try. I got that Cub done and ready to go. We're going to give that a whirl, I think, tomorrow. As long as the weather cooperates, Fred and I are planning on going tomorrow. T. Evans says, hello from Utah. That's one state I haven't visited yet. I need to get out to Utah. D. Griffiths says, hello, Mr. Skyrider. Keith, good evening from Massachusetts. Good morning. Listen to me. That's called a drop packet. That's what I'm calling that, or a senior moment. Loud and clear on the audio. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. And William Tam is here. How you doing, William? And Henry A. sounds great in Australia. Perfect. Jeff is here too. How you doing, Jeff? All right. So kind of a short weekend review this week because I kind of took it easy on the videos, man. I did I don't know. I think it was last week. It was something like 12 videos in 9 days, 10 days, something like that. It was a lot. So I figured it would be okay if I went a little slower this week. I figured you guys would forgive me. It's not like there's not content out there. So we took it a little easy, but after the PilotJam last week, starting Saturday, that we actually squeaked in the first look on the PA Cub. That's the PA-18 Cub. We did the first look on that, and that will be flown tomorrow. We're looking for a video on that, a maiden flight on that tomorrow. I'm actually anxious to fly it. It looks like it'd be a nice little plane. It's all set. Took me about, I don't know, 30 minutes. And of course, that was the ready to fly, so no work required on the radio for that one. All I had to do was basically power it up, balance it, connect some wires. That was about it. I was ready to go. Easy assembly on the Cub. And then the next one was the deep dive on the Hobby Eagle A3 Super 4 with Express LRS and CRSF. That was a good video, and I had a lot of requests for that one. So I'm glad we got that one finished. I am excited that we finished that off and got that one done. So yeah, that was a good video. Long one. That was 45 minutes. And that is kind of like the reference video. And there was one section in there I just could not find a very good visible example to show. But other than that, I thought the content on that one was pretty thorough. I think we covered it top to bottom. And then, of course, we did the giveaway. We did the big live stream on Saturday. That was the FMS sponsored event. So FMS and RC Video Reviews, RC Planes for Beginners giveaway. That was a lot of fun. I wanted to make a special call out to Shane and Robert for doing moderation duties. I actually didn't even go back and look at the chat. I had captured everything I needed live or shortly after. But thanks to those guys for handling moderation duties. And I also want to say thanks to all of you regulars that kind of help me keep balance on events like that. Because as you all know, when there's something like that and it's advertised outside of the channel, we get a lot of new people coming in, which is great. You know, it's fine. I love to see new people come into the channel. Of course, you know, that's what we want to see is growth. but you know, they haven't really not necessarily picked up the way we do things around here. So I just wanted to say thanks to the regulars for kind of help keeping things on the tracks, and especially to Robert and Shane for the moderation duties last week. Very important to me to have some people I can trust their judgment to help moderate while I go through the content, and it helps me keep focused on what I need to do. So thank you guys for doing that, and congratulations to all the winners. I know some of the planes started showing up. I've seen some pictures on Discord. One of the guys, Shane's DIY, he cleaned up, man. He won 3 of them, 3 of the coupons, and his showed up, so he got his stuff. And I know some other orders have been placed, and I'm glad to see that worked out, and it was really awesome to have that engagement from FMS as well. So I was very pleased with that whole thing. I thought it was a good event, and I look forward to getting additional opportunities in the future with FMS to do more of the same. So anyway, that's it for the week. It was kind of a short week on videos. Only three videos on the week. It was terrible, right? Only 3. So anyway, that's that. Let's move on to the content. I don't really see too much here. Bill says, hammering on the videos. Yeah, took it easy. Can I get the A10? Oh yeah, the A10. I took the A10 out and flew it again. Fred and I actually went out flying. What was that? I don't think Fred's here, but I think we went out flying on Sunday. And I took the A10 out again. I took the extra NG, the big one, the 78-inch, and I took the laser. And Fred showed up with his helicopter, and we had a good time until the rain chased us out. And the rain did, boy, I'll tell you what, man. We watched it rolling in on the radar, and then it just got Florida angry with the weather, boy. When it started going, we had to buckle up and get out of there. We actually, after we packed up, we stayed under the shelter for a little while thinking, well, maybe it'll blow over. And when the rain started coming through the shelter sideways, that's when we're like, okay, we're done. So we packed it up and left. And anyway, we had a good time, though, for what little flying we got in. And I did fly the A10 right there. You can see it. Had a good time flying. That's a neat plane. I can't get over how much I like that plane. It is a very gracious airplane in the sky. Very pleasant to fly that one. So, yeah, that was Sunday. We had a good time. Anyway, all right, so let's go. Let's get going on some content. I've got a little bit of content, not a whole lot of new stuff, but I do have some content to cover. And we're going to start out talking about EdgeTX release candidates. And if you guys remember the last PilotJam, we actually spent a little bit of time on this. We actually talked a little bit about EdgeTX and Express LRS. We talked a little bit about where they are in the release cycle. And I was actually talking with the Edge team. I won't say who. I was just talking with them, him, they, one of them, all of them. And in the conversation, one of the things that came up is that it benefits the development process if the Edge team can get your help. Now here's the deal, guys, on the help. I would never personally take a release candidate version of code and fly like one of my extreme flight planes. I just think that would be unwise to do. And the reason for that is because it's open source and it is a release candidate. So they're telling you flat out, we don't have all the bugs completely quashed. Now that said, I would have zero compunction flying a release candidate with something like my Grim Reaper, because my Grim Reaper can take a punch. I've crashed that plane from 400 feet in the sky, walked over, picked it up, and threw it again. If you've got airplanes out there that you know can take a punch, or that if you crashed it, you really wouldn't care one way or the other, you know, you got that old beater, you've been looking for some spectacular crash footage for your YouTube channel anyway. If you've got a quad that's very durable and you can zing around, you know, up and down the runway a few times, you know, and you had to replace a few props, that wouldn't bother you. The question is, and the comment is, the development cycle will improve the more people are willing to test and report bugs. Okay. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you have a spare radio and an airplane that you're willing to fly, get 2.9 release candidate 1, install it, and go out and do some testing. And then after you've done the testing, the other important part is to come back into the GitHub and click on issues and click on new issues if you have any. So if you have an issue, you have to be signed in. I'm not signed in on this browser, but you have to be signed in. But get in there, and if you have an issue, let them know what it is. So that's the ask, right? The ask is, if you have the ability to do it. And I want to be crystal clear. if you only have a few models and say you're a novice, don't do it. Don't do it. Let the guys that have stash, that have inventory, that have a crashable plane, that have a couple radios, let them do the testing. If you're a novice and you're just getting your feet under you, don't try and add the complexity of a release candidate firmware to your life. It's not worth it. But if you are a veteran pilot, you've got some skills, you've got some spare planes, spare radios, get out there and do some testing. And even if you're not willing to fly anything, if you have the spare radio, or hell, even if you can just back up your SD card and install 2.9 and work your way through it, go through the menus, go set up a model from scratch, add your logic, play around with the curves, play around with the outputs. Get a, here's a little opportunity for a plug. Get yourself a little RCVR 2 on my Etsy store, $17.99. Introductory price is now over, so $17.99. Get on my Etsy store, grab yourself a little RCVR 2, set up a model and do some testing. Try one of your mixes, try some of your logic, right? Get out there and try. And the reason that we're going through this is because they need your help. And we can improve the development cycle. Everybody can help improve the development cycle if you have the ability to do the testing. Okay, so get spare radio, or if you know what you're doing, you can back your stuff up and flash 2.9, play around with it for a while, maybe make a few comments, and then put 2.8.4 back on your radio. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That's what we're asking for. That's what, not me. I'm asking on behalf of the project. And you guys know I have a great affinity for EdgeTX, right? So if there's something I can do to help the Edge team, I'm going to do it. And this is one of the ways I can help, and it's by getting the word out, right? Making sure people understand what's needed. So it's flat out, they need your help, and if you can test the builds and give feedback, that will help them help you, right? It's help them, help you, help me, help you, help them, help you at the end of the day. So get out there and do some testing, okay? All right, that's it. I didn't want to belabor or embellish too much, but I did want to, mention that because they need the help, and the way we can improve the cycle is by testing it and telling them what we see, right? That's how we can help it move along, and that's the idea. All right, let's see. The FMS giveaway was so awesome. Yes, it was, man. FMS was very generous on that. And, they followed up with the sweepstakes too, and they actually sent me the list of winners, which I posted in Discord for the sweepstakes they won, where they're giving away some merch and a plane cover and a plane stand and navigation blinky lights. It was cool, man. You guys know I'm kind of big on the community engagement thing, right? Be part of the community, be involved, be part of the solution, not the problem, right? That's my theory on it. It is a community, right? We're all in this hobby together. So be part of the solution, be involved. If there's something you can do to contribute, you should do it. And the Edge guys are doing that in spades. And of course, FMS, I got handed to them for a retailer. They got their own website. They are a manufacturer or maybe distributor and retailer. But that engagement that I saw to them was world-class, man. It was really good. I was impressed. So can I get a channel says the A10 really looks nice. It flies. It does fly really nice. I call the A10 a sheep in wolf's clothing. It's a sheep in wolf's clothing because it's just so easy to fly, easy natured, and it's actually got some legs. It's got some athletics. It can do basic stuff. To be perfectly blunt, it looks kind of ridiculous doing rolls because it's an A10 and it's not a P-47. It's not the fighter, right? It's a ground attack craft. So while it can do a roll, it looks kind of silly. Even doing loops looks kind of silly. What looks cool is doing dive bombs on the ground and cruising, 5 feet over the runway at full speed. That's kind of cool. And it really looks nice in the air. It's like I said, it's a sheep in wolf's clothing. That's what I like to call it. Can I get a channel? Says I'm just getting into ELRS, been using TBS cross CRSF. TBS is good stuff, man. I'd never take away from them. It's solid radio tech to be sure, but man, ELRS just does it for me because it's open source, and I like that too. That's another one of those community things. And not to take anything away from TBS. They've been amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. Innovators, delivering new capabilities to the hobby, and they're out there and they're in the community, they're engaged. So yeah, no question, good stuff. But ELRS is my protocol of choice at this point. All right, let's see. Yeah, bench test. That's right, man. Get the bench testing going. You guys got to get out there. Get yourself a little RCVR 2. Get one of these on the Etsy store, and you can do your own testing. You can work on the gyro, try different things out. I love messing around with the gyro on the bench with these. That's kind of cool. So really handy to be able to do that. Absolutely. All right, let's see what other comments are here. Discord from Hobie. Thanks, Hobie, for posting that. And hey, that's a great segue or a great little breaking point. I also wanted to make sure I take a moment, as usual, to say thanks to my patrons. Thank you, guys. It really means something to me that you're willing to help the channel and help me bring content to you by kicking in and opening up the wallets, because I do pour the revenue that I make in the various channels back into the channel at this point. I'm not getting rich on this stuff. It just goes into the channel. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And if you're interested in helping out on patreon.com/RC Video Reviews, I got a tier for $3. $3 a month, and that's it. So if you're willing to help out, patreon.com is a great way to do it. All right, let's see. Innovate. Eric EQRC says, is TX developing a tracking ID device like Spectrum? Man, why EQRC? I'm triggered, dude. Is TX developing a tracking ID? I don't know who TX is. Is that Texas? Is Texas developing a tracking ID? Or Radio Master maybe, or EdgeTX? The answer is, God, I hope not. And I also hope that everybody boycotts the entire remote ID thing in the first place. Don't stick those things in your plane. Boycott it. Be a scofflaw. Make them catch you. And then when they do, just claim ignorance. Just say, oh, I'm a crazy old man. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to be compliance. Tell me how I can make it right. That's all you got to do, okay? But just be a scofflaw, man. Don't comply, dude. This is the resistance movement at this point. We're the rebellion, man. You're talking about the empire at this point. We got to be rebels on this stuff. All right, Parman28 says, hi, watch your old video on the A3 Super 4 with the ELRS using Matex CRSF to SBus converter. These converters are getting harder to find. Yeah, it's because you don't need them. Get rid of them. You can just do CRSF to an A3 Super 4 now, right? And you can also do SBus natively from Express LRS. So just ditch the converter altogether. The only real advantage you have with the converter is if you want GPS and or current. That'd be it. Other than that, you've got VBAT, you've got CRSF, you've got SBus out. You really just don't need the converters anymore. On your latest deep dive, I think you said that A3 now supports CRSF. Yep, that's in the title, man. It's in the thumbnail in great big letters, CRSF. Does that mean we don't need to use a CRSF to SBus? There we go. There you go. You're on it. I need to shut up. No, that's right, man. It's good when you guys help answer questions because there's lag. You know, I see, oh, I shouldn't say that word, but I see it's a delay by the time I get to the questions. So it's okay if you guys respond. All right. They cost more than playing. Yep. Better late than never. Yeah, stupid freaking remote ID. Just ignore it, guys. Just ignore it, man. Be a scofflaw. Make them catch you. Every single one of you. Give me a show of hands if you never, ever exceed the speed limit on the highway. Show of hands. Or if you've never kind of rolled through a stop sign. If you've never done that, raise your hand. All right. It's no different in my opinion on this remote ID. Just do me a favor and stay the hell away from people and stay the hell away from aircraft, full-size aircraft. You have no business playing with your airplanes and quads near things that are flying with human beings in the sky. Stay away from them. If you mess with them, you deserve everything you get, full power of the law and all that stuff. Just stay away from them. But if you're out there playing around in a bando or flying at your field or your backyard, to hell with them, man. You know what I say? Let them have it. Just ignore them. Ignore them. Be a scofflaw. Just stay away from human beings in the sky. That's the main thing, right? All right. Well, if you can't drive, that's another problem. All right. Let's see. That's it for the release candidates. Let's cruise. Oh, the extreme flight stuff. Yeah, I was kind of anxious to show you guys this one. All right, let me put that away. And we're going to go back to the workplace. And I wanted to show you guys, kapow. There's the new extreme flight receiver ready. This is a extra 260 67-inch receiver ready by Extreme Flight. Now, they have two. They've got a blue and a white, and they have an orange. So let me bring the orange up. Let's see if I can get the orange one to show here. There's the orange one. That's the one I ordered. I have the orange and white and blue one on the way. And I kind of consider these to be, I want to say that they're category leading, category defining planes, and here's why. The answer is that when I first learned about the plug-and-play Skywings, I looked at the plane, I looked at the hardware, and I said to Rob, I think that's got to be about $1,000. And if that comes in at $1,000, they will not be able to keep them on the shelf. And sure enough, they came in at like 1,090. So now Extreme Flight follows suit with a 67-inch of their own. They call it RXR. You know, PMP is one way, RXR is the other. So on the RXR version, the receiver ready version, it's 67-inch, and it came in a little higher, $1,199. But I do want to mention that it has the servo arms already installed. It's got the T-motor, I believe, the T-motor ESC, the Theta servos. I mean, the electronics setup in this is definitely top shelf stuff. It's good, solid equipment. So if you go out and source the hardware independent of the airframe, you're going to find out that you're going to come in right about that $1,100 to $1,200 range. So the thing that impresses me and why I say these are kind of segment leading planes is because for the first time that I'm aware of, you've now got two high quality manufacturers in Skywing and Extreme Flight, both producing plug and play models that use hardware that has been fully vetted by people that are highly able to extract the most out of the plane. We're not talking about Dave and John trying to, do some basic 3D maneuvers, right? That's not what I'm saying. These are people who can fly 3D like, go home and smack your wife kind of 3D, they're really good at it. So the point of the matter is that they're able to extract. So they've tested the hardware. They made sure that the hardware is right. And based on my own independent pricing of the equipment, I think they priced it right on the mark. So it's not a gouging, and that's one of my problems I have with certain other vendors, which will rename, spit it out, John, which shall remain nameless. H squared. I'm just saying. So they're on the mark in terms of the financing or the finance, the cost. So anyway, 67-inch. And I'll tell you another thing that I really like about the 67-inch is I love the concept of a single 6L 5000, and the equipment deck on these tends to be really good. A lot of space in there, easy to get the battery manipulated where you wanted it and set up. And one last comment I'll make is that these planes, if you're not... I'm not a 3D pilot. I've never claimed to be. I try 3D stuff, and maybe one day I'll call myself a 3D pilot, but right now I'm not. I'm working on it, okay? So what I'll tell you about the planes, though, is that outside of 3D, if you want to fly them in a sport-like manner, meaning you don't want the throws to be crazy, you just want to kind of, ease into the throws, maybe not have the throws be too crazy, and just do your basic sport flying, stunt flying, pattern flying, IMAC-type flying, you'll never find a better airplane to do it. These things are spectacular for that. So they may, and the landings, you could look at a plane like this and go, oh my gosh, it's so scary. But they land like cupcakes. They land like little feathers. So they're great landing airplanes. They have excellent ground handling characteristics. And of course, in the sky, they're fantastic. So anyway, that's why I consider these to be a segment type airplane, a segment leading type airplane, because they're a little bit more, man, but the quality you're getting here and the hardware you're getting, it's just hard to beat. So anyway, I just wanted to mention these new release by Extreme Flight. I can tell you that the orange and white ones, the plug and play or the receiver ready, that's sold out in less than 12 hours. The last time I looked, they had some more of the blue and whites, and they still have some of the ARF versions of this plane. So if you want an ARF and do your own electronics, you can do that as well. And don't forget, on their website, they also have the Skywing power combos. Like they got the Power 70, Power 90 combos, which are designed for 60 and say 70 class airplanes. Okay, so, keep that in mind. If you want to do an ARF and use a Skywing power combo, you can do that as well. So anyway, just wanted to share that one with you because that one is inbound. That'll be here soon. That'll be my next inbound airframe as far as I know. So let me go check the comments and we'll move on. Thanks back at you, John, says Bill. Okay, thanks, Bill. Appreciate you. I get stopped by the tickets have no effect. Yeah. You just apologize. If you ever get busted for remote ID, just say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I didn't know you couldn't do this. What do I do? What do I have to do to be in compliance? I'm so sorry. And read the book, because they say in the book, it depends on compliance, and our intention is not to be punitive. It's to educate. So if you make a mistake, then just be contrite. If you're contrite, their guidance from the head office is to leave you alone. Just tell you what you have to do. Make sure you're compliant, understand, and then hopefully you'll fly with your remote ID next time, right? Happy wife, happy life. Man, can I get a channel? Let me tell you guys something. I'm going to do something. This is risky for me because it is a pilot jam and it's about RC, but I got to tell you guys something. You know, I've been working really hard on my laser and all that stuff. And Mrs. RCVR decided she wanted to get an Etsy store going, and she wants to make girl stuff. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick. We're not going to spend much time on it. The link is in the description. If you want to help me out, go to my wife's Etsy store and get a couple pairs of earrings. You don't have to buy them for yourself, although I think these would look really good on Fred, maybe even Dave. But, you know, if you have a significant other, go check out the Etsy store, buy them from my wife, help me out, help you out, buy them for your girl, spend a little bit of your money on your girl. And you're right. Happy wife, happy life. That's a little plug for my wife, little commercial for my wife. Don't hate me for it, all right? I'm just trying to help my best friend in the world out a little bit. That's all I'm trying to do. Help the Mrs. RCVR out, if you don't mind. All right. Poor Dave, says Rambo Flight Ken. Yeah, I know. Poor Dave. Dave got the orange, white, and blue extra, though, so he's good. He likes that plane. He likes that one a lot. Freddie made it. There you go. Fred, we were just talking about you. How about that? Hit the like button, folks. Yeah, hit the like button. Do what Bill said. If you guys don't mind, hit that like button. That helps me out, man. Helps the channel. Helps to fight the power. Help me with the algorithm. You guys got to help me get these videos boosted. Fight the power, man. Get me listed on YouTube. Let's see. Can I get a channel? I hit like on the RC video reviews as soon as I enter. Click on the content. I already know it's. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Can I get a channel? Very nice. Nice earrings, right? Yeah, I know, man. They're nice. And those are new, actually. They're going to go in the store tonight or tomorrow. She's got a couple up there now, but you know, she's going to add more. She's trying new stuff. She's trying new stuff. She's trying, man. She wants to get a little, you know, little thing going on the Etsy store. You know how it is. So anyway. I love my wifey. Man, my wife is my best friend, dude. That's on the record on the video right now. So hopefully after I'm long gone, she'll hopefully come by one day and watch all my videos and hear this. But yeah, she's definitely my best friend, man. No doubt about it. I've got some good friends and Fred and Dave and Bill and Hobie and Shane and all you guys. But you know, my wife, she's my best friend. Just the way it is, right? It's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way I see it anyway. I'm traditional that way. All right, that's it for the extreme flight and the wife plugs. I appreciate you guys being tolerant about that. So thank you. And go to her Etsy store and buy some earrings. Help a brother out. Help a brother out, man. All right, let's see. I'm going to set RCVR 2 aside because I have something I got to show you, and I'm not real happy about it. No, I am not real happy about it. Fred was there. He saw it. And I told him, I said, well, I don't know, man. I don't know what I should do about this. Oh, speaking of Etsy stores, I got some more stuff. Oh, here. These are good. I don't know. I've asked Radio Master for permission to use theirs. I actually, I sponsored the Edge team, so I got permission to use their logo. The EdgeTX keychains, they're going to be in my Etsy store as well. I'll probably be posting these tonight or tomorrow. I'm waiting for hardwood. I ran out. So I need more walnut. That's on the way in, but I'll be posting those as well. EdgeTX, you can put that on your bag if you want. Radio Master, if you want an RCVR love, there's that. Those will be in my Etsy store soon too. Anyway, that's that. So here we go. This is the thing I wanted to show you. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. This is a real simple config, and you know, for anyone, one thing that I've noticed sometimes when I have problems, people give me recommendations. And before we get into the problem, I'm going to tell you what I've done to solve this. The only thing I haven't done is take it apart. I've tried different batteries here and here, right? Different here, different here. Instead of a battery, I've tried a power supply. I've tried a different power supply. I've tried different voltages from 12 volts all the way up to the input 28 volts. I've tried different balance connectors. I've tried a balance board. I've tried pretty much every, you know, I've gone through it. Okay. So here's the issue. Let me just disconnect everything so we can see from the start what you guys are going to see. Now, this is a B6 Neo. I actually have 3 of these. All right. This is the third one. After I got this one from Radio Master, I did I bought a couple more off of eBay. Those are in my box. They work. This one, I don't know what happened. This was outside my box and I had it at the field. And the first thing we'll do is just apply power. This is a 4-cell battery, by the way, little 4-cell 2650, right? Just normal battery. And we get the normal screen, never use a charger unsupervised. That all looks good. And then I'm going to plug in my balance lead. You know, I'll just plug that in down here. And I'm going to plug my main in right here, right on the side. And then if I press the button, we can see I've got the correct voltage. I've got cell 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that looks right. The voltage is correct on this. So everything looks copacetic there, right? So now I'm just going to, this is what happened at the field, right? I had everything. I had power in, connected a battery, decided, well, I'm going to charge something. So I'll go down and we'll set it on 4S. It's set to balance charge. My condition is 4.2. My current, we can lower the current just a little bit. Let's just change the current to 2.6. And then we'll go down here to start and I get cell error. Cell error? What the heck is that? So let's just unplug. Okay, maybe the balance lead's not plugged in right. So I'll plug it in again. We'll just try it one more time. And I'll hit back and go again. Now it says connection break. And if I hit stop and go, it says cell error and now connection break. And if I hit back here and go up, I just wanted to check and make sure it was cell number 1. Yes. Cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's not the battery and it's not the input. So, and I'll tell you guys too, when I was at the field, I unplugged the battery like that. Ugh. And when I did, I heard a little crack and I thought it was plastic initially, but it's got to be something inside. That's why I said the only thing I haven't done is taken it apart. So this one is effectively useless. Now, that said, the other two are doing fine. And I've already put a couple, maybe a dozen cycles on both of them. So they're fine so far. Now, with that said, I went to Race Day Quads, who, by the way, they have these on pre-order right now. So go check out Race Day Quads. They have them on pre-order, and I ordered 2 more. So the reason is because I really want to like these. And the reason I really want to like them is because I believe they're very accurate. But that said, this one, there's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is. I probably need to pop the screen off, take the screws off, and open it up and look for something on that main board popped. I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's a diode. I'm sure it's a diode. I'm sure it is. It was some kind of cross or pop, but I definitely heard it. And even if I just plug the battery in, I still get the cell checker and it still works. So I don't know. Kind of one of those weird things. I'm a little bummed about it, but this is a review channel. And I tell you guys, if I learn something about something after having it for a little while, I am going to let you know. So I'm telling you what I experienced. I don't think yet that I believe there's a fundamental flaw in the tech. I think what happened is I just got a bum charger. I think that's just the way it is. Okay. So that's that. I wanted to share it with you so you understood. All right. Let me check the comments and then we will move on. We'll move on. Let's see. Hobie says, what does a guy need to do? Well, you know, what did you say your Etsy page name is? It's Whisker and Willows. Whisker and Willows. That's the name. Whisker and Willows. And the link is in the description if you want to see it. Is that going to focus? There we go. Whisker and Willows. That's the name of our store. Link's in the description if you want to visit. So thanks, Bill, for asking. Sky RC charger is really sweet. I do like them. And what I like even more, to be honest with you guys, I like the fact that it's got a gray and black version, and Race Day Quads has the gray and black version on offer. So that's what I ordered. So these will become spares or giveaways. I don't know. I'll figure something out with them. But anyway, yeah, I really do like, I really want to like this charger because I believe they're very accurate. That's the thing about it. That balance plug thing, I don't know how to explain that one. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just going to attribute it to infant mortality. These things happen from time to time. I mean, let's face it. If you're a manufacturer, you go out to bid and you say, okay, I need the cheapest set of diodes I can buy. So who can send me 5,000 of the cheapest diodes? So, you know, it's just kind of one of those deals. They're using the cheapest equipment they can get their hands on. So maybe I just got a bad one. That's all I can say. The other two seem to be working fine, which is why I was willing to give it another go. So hopefully they'll work. If they don't, or if they continue to flake out like this one did, I will be sure to let you know. All right, let's see. Thanks, Hobie. Interesting. Race A quads, one-off. Yeah, one-off. I hope so. Elias is here. How you doing, Elias? Glad you can make it. It failed then. Yeah, it did fail. Something definitely went south with this one. T. Evans says, I haven't had any issues with Neo. Yeah, out of 3, this is the only one that's given me any grief at all. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I think. You just got a faulty one. That's what I'm guessing. Hit the like button, says Hobie. Yeah, definitely hit the like button. That'd be awesome. Okay, let's get back to the desktop. Thanks, Hobie. And yeah, if you guys can hit the like button, that's meaningful to me. It is meaningful. All right, let's see. That was the B6 Neo update. Now we have, oh, well, hey, that brings us to the next segment, which is kind of cool. We're going to go back to the workspace, and I wanted to bring this one up because let's see if I can get this to reload. Let's see. New products. There it is right there. There's the B6 Neo. It's on pre-order, and check it out. They got the gray and silver. Why did they not do the gray and silver like that? That's the way you do a charger right there. I don't want this candy, ice cream, orange, slushy, pastel, Miami freaking orange and blue. Just give me gray and black, man. So that's another reason I ordered them, because I really would rather have the gray and black. I know, right? That's CDO at work, guys. You saw it here. But anyway, by the way, I bought that with points. With points, which is what brought us to this one. So if you go back to the Race Day Quads page, and they put up this thing, get 4% in RDQ points with every purchase. Now here's the funny thing. When I found this, I posted in Hot Deals, and because I know a lot of you guys buy stuff from Race Day Quads. And when I posted it, I said, man, I sure wish they'd make that retroactive, because I've spent some cash at Race Day Quads. And then lo and behold, I clicked on this little RDQ rewards button. And when I was logged into my account, and I had all kinds of reward points, like a lot. You know, I'll put it this way. I don't want to admit how many, but we'll just say it was north of 100. It was north of 100. Might have been north of 200 or more, or 3. No more than 5. It wasn't more than 5 or 6. 700 tops. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm being vague, because I got reward points and it was really cool. So I want to give Race Day Quads some real credit for backdating their freaking rewards thing. That was cool. I think they backdated it. I don't even know what else to say, because I don't know anything about reward points prior to this. I just saw it. I clicked on, like, whoa, I got reward points. And I was actually able to redeem them. And that's how I bought my gray chargers. That's how I funded. See, this is how I fund my hobby. I do stuff like that. But anyway, they have a rewards point. And then I mentioned it to some of the guys. I'm like, hey, make sure you check your rewards account. And at least 4 or 5 people direct message me. And they're like, man, I got $50. I got $80. I got $100. I was like, that's really cool, man. Race Day Quads. I don't know how much it cost them to put this out there, but I can tell you right now, they spent some money on this deal. They definitely spent some money. So I don't know what the exact mechanics are. I can't tell you exactly, how they calculated this. All I can tell you is before I didn't have rewards. Now I do. And I was able to spend some. So it was kind of cool. Anyway, that's that. I just wanted to make sure you knew about it. Race Day Quads rewards 4% back, man. It's like a 4% discount on everything you buy, plus free shipping over $100. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. I like them. By the way, the other thing I'll say about Race Day Quads, I've purchased from them quite a bit. And they are really fast on shipping. They tell you right on their website, if you order this in the next hour, it will ship today. And it always does. So they're very good on shipping. They have free shipping over $100, rewards points, good vendor. I've had stuff go bad. I've asked them about it and they've made it right. So I like these guys. It's just this is a completely unsolicited, non-paid, no affiliates, no nothing, man. I'm just telling you, this is a good vendor to do business with out there. So if you're in the US, certainly give them a look. And even if you're not in the US, I know they have shipped internationally. So check them out. All right. So let's see. Damn, I just brought a charger this morning. Red Blue didn't do it for me. I wish I'd known about that gray. I know. You gotta stay with me, Hobie. Stay with me. I'm going to find it. I couldn't, the Miami Vice, it reminds me of the Good Humor ice cream Chuck. I just want to grab the designer and go, why did you do this? And the way I dealt with it on mine is I covered it. So all you can really see on mine is like the blue, which is still annoying, but it's better than blue and orange. I don't get it. They did this, and you know who else did this is, SAB helicopters. They did this with some of their stuff. I was like really looking forward to the Raw, the 420 or the whatever. And And oh, by the way, they have a Raw 500 out now, just announced. But anyway, I was really looking forward to that. And they put it out with these stupid ice cream cone colors. I just don't get it. They had a meeting. Someone somewhere, and it couldn't have been in Italy, because Italy, from an aesthetics perspective, is way too cool to have allowed this. So it had to be somewhere, maybe France. France, they're artistic. So maybe in France they had a meeting and they said, we need to have orange and blue. And I'm like, but I don't understand why you did that. But anyway, race day quads, they got the silver or the gray and black. That's what I'm talking about. I got myself some silver and black ones on the way. All right, let's see. Since when did blue and orange go together? I know, right, Bill? I don't get it. Cool, I use them faithfully. Yeah, you're going to get some points now, 4% off just about everything. Elias says, I saw the Wi-Fi finder and reminded me of a friend who lost his drone across the river. He couldn't go till the next day, too late in the day, and it was still beeping and flashing the next day. Oh, those are the Wi-Fi. Yeah, those are cool. Can I get a channel says, I've let mine stack up. Still haven't used them. Nice. $1 equals 1 reward point. Yeah, I know. I don't think it's $1 though. I think it's 10%, right? Like if you cash 1,000, you get $1 or something. No, you're right. Maybe it is. No, it's not 1 for 1. If you have 1,000 points, you're going to $1,000. That's not the way it works. It's 10%, I think. Yeah, they are fast. They are fast. They don't mess around when it comes to shipping. They get stuff out the door. Tom says, I appreciate the pricing on the EMAX servos. Thanks for the heads up. Yep, you're welcome. Elias says, yeah, that blue and orange looks too much like a toy. I know, right? Who does this? I mean, but yeah, I have a channel. I've got an email address. I should flash my email address. You guys just call me, man. I'm in touch with this stuff. Don't do freaking blue and orange. That's ridiculous. Who came up with that? He needs a timeout. All right. The designer who came up with that needs a timeout. I don't know what they were thinking with that. It's ridiculous. Looks like it's made for a 6-year-old kid with the freaking Lego set, man. Terrible. All right. I got the Toolkit M6D. Good choice. That's a nice charger. Very good charger. Can I get a channel says you definitely can't lose it? No, you can't. Falls down in the grass. You'll be able to spot it, I guess. Spin Launch Glide says those chargers are Nintendo Switch colors aiming at the... Oh, so that's what's going on. We don't count. Our money is not as fresh as youth money. I get it. I understand the demographics. They're aiming at the 20-plus crowd. I get it. Every dollar spent equals 1 report. Oh, I see what you're saying, Hobie. There you go. Could 3D print that color? I know, but the problem is that's the other issue is they make you take, here's what I don't like. This is another, hey, if you're a manufacturer and you're listening, stop doing stuff like putting the screws under the screen because you got to take the screen off to get the screws out, which means this will never sit the same way again, ever. Once you guys know when you take that glue apart, it will never lay as flat ever again. Put the screws on the damn bottom so we can take it apart. Please, please, I'm begging you. Who cares? Once we buy it, it's ours. You know, they say they do that probably for warranty, but I mean, come on, man. It's not like, you know, if we are going to go so far as to take it apart and we take the screen off, you're already going to know we're in there. Just put a little wax or something in there. Do something, but let us have access to it without destroying it. Because I would replace that whatever that diode is, I'd replace it. But the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I know I'm going to scratch the screen and the glue will never sit flat again. It'll always, you know, what'll happen is this side will rise or this side will just go whoop, you know what I'm saying? It's going to do that. I'm going to stop there. But you know what I'm saying? It's never going to lay flat again. And you got to get the screws out from underneath the screen. So the only way you can do that is take the screen off. And it's never going to be right again after that. Even though I could probably fix it with a little simple soldering. Sorry, Empire guys. I apologize. Soldering. All right, could 3D. Yeah, you could 3D print any of this stuff, man. This wouldn't be hard to make. Easy. And by the way, your French accent is questionable. Well, it's because I'm not French, Bill. I mean, you know. Oui, foo. I took French in college. Didn't take. All right, let's see. Back to the desktop. Let's move on. Race day quad points. Get them while they're hot. Check out your RDQ points. Okay. August 12th to August 13th. Looks like we're going to have a flying event at the ELRS RC Club in Tavares, Florida. If you're local in the area, live near the beach, you want to come up and fly, we're going to be there on or about the 12th, 13th. I'll probably be there both days. We haven't firmed up exactly what the event is yet. Still waiting on confirmation from certain people, but I'll probably be there both days. So 12th, 13th, if you want to go, ELRS RC Club, if you're in the area, come on over and fly. 12th to the 13th of August. It's going to be Saturday, Sunday. Come on out and fly, man. We'll try and have some fun. Assuming the rain doesn't chase us out. Propsoft says, had to pop in and say hi and smash the like button. Pizza party at Miles. We'll have fun, Propsoft. Glad to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate the thumbs up, too. I knew a lot of French words. You want me to share some? Voulez-vous français, right? That's about all I know. Might have a few stragglers coming with us. Very good. Very good. Oui, oui. All right. What's the other one I know? Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est la vie. C'est la vie. I know c'est la vie. That's actually spelled C''ESTLAVIE. See, I know a little French. Little peu. Right? The Canadians are probably laughing their nads off right now, like freaking Americans. Stop talking, John. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Q&A. We have I say we, like the French, the royal French. Is that a frog in your throat? Yeah. Yeah, what is it with that, man? What is the deal with the French? What is that all about? I don't get it. What's the deal with that? All right, smart type is so stupid. Oh, look, it's Tim. All right, let's see here. We're going to go into the blackboard. I've got questions and answers. You know, there's a guy, I'm only going to do it once. I'm not going to steal from him. His channel is called Camera Conspiracies, and the dude is hysterically funny. He's got a wickedly cool sense of humor, and he has a segment. Now, I've been doing this before I ever saw Camera Conspiracies, so I did not rip this off from him. But his intro, I'm going to borrow one, just a tribute for tonight only. And he'll start his section, his Q&A section, and he's a photography channel. And he'll say things like, photographers are something, and he'll say something derogatory about photographers. And he says, but if they ask for help, I'm going to help them. So I'm going to pay a little homage to him because I think his humor is hilarious. And I'm going to start this segment by saying, RC pilots are like rabid monkeys. They often run around like rabid monkeys would run around through the forest, often with a confused look on their face, wondering and exclaiming, I don't understand what just happened. But that doesn't mean if 10 of them ask me for help, I'm going to turn them away. I'm going to help. Of course, I'm going to help them. Anyway, that was my little tribute to Camera Conspiracies, man. I love the guy. Absolutely hilarious. But he always starts with a little slam on photographers, and then he does his Q&A segment. And dude makes me laugh. I can't stand it. Even if you're not into photography, watch his channel because he's absolutely hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. All right, so let's see. We're on question number 1. Shane's DIY. This is the guy who friggin' stole your lunch money on the FMS giveaway. He walked away with 3 airplane coupons. But anyway, Shane's DIY says, that's a cool gyro. Awesome configuration app, very intuitive and clean. Interesting mode options with the hover and lock. They might be fun to play around with. And I got to say, he's not wrong. There are some really cool modes on the Hobby Eagle A3 Super 4 gyro. And I would encourage you guys, if you have them, try them out. Play around with it. I kind of want to try the hover one, although I don't want to be accused of cheating with the hover. So that's why I don't really do it. Freddie has a C story about the use of a gyro in a professional pilot, a sponsored pilot, and a whole debate thing that went on his channel about the use of a gyro. But I don't use the gyro to fly, and I certainly don't use it for stunts that I'm trying to learn. But anyway, yeah, Shane's absolutely right. Very cool gyro. Some very interesting modes. And by the way, if you weren't aware of it, we'll cover this in just a little bit, but don't forget, man, they have on the Hobby Eagle A3 Super 4, they've got a 6-position gyro, and you've got a 6-position mode switch right there that'll work perfectly with it. So you could set all 6 of the Hobby Eagle modes right there. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Food for thought. Food for thought. All right, next up, let's see. Shane, good comment. Bradley Norton 1085. What would be the best way to set up a flight controller for a plane like... Oh, well, how about this? For a Sparrow 2 with GPS from return to home, would the 6-position switch be the best? I want to set up flight modes in the radio as well. How would the master... That's you. Bradley, you are now my favorite commenter of the week. I don't care what anybody says. But how would the master do it? I would probably, if I were looking for all 6 modes, I would absolutely, Bradley, I would put them on the 6-position switch, which is what I've done in the past. So if I'm flying a airplane with a flight computer, I tend to use this one. If I'm flying an airplane with a 3-position stabilizer, meaning off stab, let me try that again. If I'm flying a let me try it. Ding, beep. Try it again. If I'm flying a gyro with 3 positions, I will use position 1 for off. Position 2, that's this one for me, as stabilize, or what I like to call wind rejection. And then position number 3 would be auto level, which I don't really ever use, but I leave it on there. And I think the reason I leave that on there mainly is just in case I have one of those moments where I cannot figure out what the plane is doing. I don't really have those, but just in case. So that's why I keep that enabled, but that's the only reason. So on a gyro, I tend to use this one. If I'm using a flight computer, definitely the 6 position switch is superb for modes on a flight computer. So no question, consider doing that without a question of a doubt. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's go back to the blackboards. You guys aren't supposed to see the green screen. Now you've seen under the covers. All right, Freddie says, I ain't afraid of no gyro. I'm with you, Fred. I'm with you. I love gyros. Gyros work, man. If you're a gyro hater, we covered this last time. I'm not gonna entertain that business. Gyros are good. Boo Devil 65. I wonder if that means 1965. I'm just curious. It sounds like it does. You're giving it away, Boo Devil. All right, anyway, another great video. Curious as to your thoughts on the pros and cons of SBus versus CRSF. See, now these are questions I can get into. Look at, this is the way you ask a YouTuber a question, because it's direct. First off, he strokes the ego. Notice how he strokes the ego of the wild YouTuber first, because you got to calm the feathers, right? And then Hobie says, gyros make me hungry. After Photios' video, how could you not be hungry? It's like you get triggered when you think of a gyro, right? So anyway, you got to stroke the YouTuber's ego a little bit, calm them down and get them on your side. And then you ask the question, and it's an intelligent question. Curious as to your thoughts on the pros and cons of SBus versus CRSF. Definitely cool, but any clear winner. This is the way you ask a question. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. This is the way you ask a question. This is the way you complain. This is the way you say stuff. Because now I couldn't wait to answer this question, because first he was very polite. And then second, he asked a very direct question, which I could answer, right, with a straight answer. The answer is they are both serial outputs. Okay, so CRSF and SBus are both serial outputs, which fundamentally what that means is you're putting your multi-channel signals on a single signal wire in serial. So they go one after the other, one after the other. I said over like a British guy from London just there. I said OV, over, right? Is that the way you say it in London? I think. Anyway, in your serial stream, you're sending your channels one after the other in a single wire in serial. Okay, so SBus and CRSF, both serial streams. Okay, so functionally, they do the same thing, right? They're combining multiple channels into a single wire. All right, so functionally, same thing. But, and by the way, I have this on good authority. I'll just give credit where credit's due. I had this conversation with Captain Bry. Bry is the lead dog on Express LRS. He's like one of the main, I shouldn't say lead dog, because I don't know, like, I don't think they use rank systems on Express LRS. It's kind of a community thing, but I think he's like one of the primary influencer developer guys. He's kind of like, I want to say he's in charge, but I don't know if he's in charge. So if I misspoke, ELRS guys, I'm sorry, but Bry definitely seems to be clearly involved in setting strategy, and certainly he makes stuff happen. So let's just call him one of the main developers. How's that? So I talked to him about this, and Mike, I asked a similar question, which is another reason I think Boo Devil 65 is so brilliant, because he's asking the same questions I am. Anyway, CRSF serial output is OTA. For SBus, he said it is 111 hertz. I think, just to show you guys, if you want your mind, like mind blown, that's 9 milliseconds, right? Is that the interframe gap? I think 9 milliseconds. Anyway, works out to 111 hertz. In this application, that's the only practical difference. CRSF works at the OTA rate. So who knows what that means? Like pop quiz, who knows when we say CRSF serial output is the OTA rate? What does that mean? Anybody? Bueller? I'm gonna ask you guys while I power on the radio. I want to see if anyone knows what that means. Someone surprise me. Someone's gonna know. I know some of you technical guys already know the answer. You're just holding back. Wake up, Jeff. Wake up, drone pilot. I know you guys know the answer to this. So if CRSF works at the OTA rate, what does that mean? So keep in mind, SBus is 111 hertz, right? And this is coming from an expert. Yeah, I know what over the air means, Hobie, but what does that mean? What does the number mean? So if CRSF works at the OTA rate, what is that rate? What does it mean? Anybody? Come on, is someone going to say before I actually get into the Lua and show you? Come on, somebody can do it. I'll do it another way. I'm going to take my time. I'm giving you guys time to give me an answer. I'm going to click on external RF. I'm going to reach over and get my pointer slowly. You guys need to wake up, man. You're all sleeping out there on me. Come on. Nobody? Bueller? All right. There's a status, 100 hertz, 12. 12 says Henry. Buzz. Nope. Okay. Here's the rate, the 100 hertz, right? That's how I have my Express LRS set up. Packet rate, Jeff H there. All right, so Jeff, come on. Work with me here. What's the high-end packet rate on Express LRS? Come on. You guys know the answer to this question. I know you do. Someone does. Let's look. Well, there's one at 333. So what does this mean? If I'm running my over-the-air rate at 333 hertz, that means the rate on the wire between the receiver and the gyro is 333 hertz, right? Versus SBus, which is only 111. So think about it. Like, pause for a minute and think about that. If your over-the-air rate, meaning the rate between this and your receiver is 333, and CRSF is 333, and your digital servos are 333, and your A3 Super 4 outputs 333, that means you have a chain of custody at 333 hertz from your transmitter to your servo, right? No math, no divisions, no nothing, no delays, no steps, no nothing, okay? So if you are running SBus, what that means is that your rate is 100 hertz between the receiver and the gyro, okay? The receiver and the gyro, it's 111.11 hertz. So if you have yourself set up at 333, that means in order for the, that means when the packet arrives on the receiver and it's coming in at a rate of 333, then you have to downsample to 111.11 hertz and then transfer that over to the gyro. And then the gyro says, hey, I'm talking 333 to my servos. Then it's got to wait for 3 of those to queue up and send out on the wire, or some other, you know, Risto's not here. He'd be the guy to actually explain exactly how the math works. But here's what I do know. On the way in, you're going to step down. And on the way out, you got to step up, because you're 333 coming in, 111.11 going out from the receiver to the gyro. And then if you set up 333 on the gyro, you're back up to 333 out PWM to the servos. Okay. So whatever happens there, there's some math going on. You're either dropping packets, queuing packets, whatever. Something is happening to that data. I'm not sure exactly what happens to it, but something happens. And that's why I like the idea of CRSF at a pass-through rate. So even if you set it, say, at 100, and then you set your output at 100, now you can have 100 on your transmit, 100 on your wire, 100 on your output. So no drop packets, no math is going on there. It's a straight through rate. Okay. Does that make sense? So that's the, going back to, yeah, FLRC has shorter range, but yeah, it goes up to 1,000. So you could be sending 1,000 hertz over your single signal wire into a gyro or flight computer. Think about that. Now, flight computers love that kind of stuff, right? Because the refresh rate on those can get really high. So the PID loop on a good flight computer, say an F7 CPU, now you're talking, right? So feeding it in at that high rate is kind of important. And that's the advantage. To go back to this question that we were asked, what's the difference? Pros and cons on S. So you see a little seemingly innocuous, innocent question like, what's the difference between SBus and CRSF? You could say, well, nothing. They're both serial. But you got to dive in. And when you dive in, you find out, oh, wow, there's actually a real difference here. So now, what does this mean in a practical sense? What this means in a practical sense, let me help you here. Let me help you. Hold on one second. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to show you what this means in a practical sense. What this means is you need to go to my Etsy store and get an RCVR 2 and hook up a gyro with Express LRS and try some different packet rates with even some different gyros. Don't run 333 to these little cheap analog gyros because you'll smoke them. They're 50. These are 50 hertz, but get yourself some nice digital 9-gram servos and you can run a higher output rate and see what happens. Test it for yourself. I'd like one of you guys to come back and say, hey, I did some testing with that 333 hertz thing. Here's what I found. I'd love to hear that from you guys. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time. My RCVR 2 is done and built. I'm going to keep it that way. So go to the Etsy store, get an RCVR 2, get your gyro hooked up, try it out, man. Tell me what you think. What did you figure out? And by the way, fellas, I'm just going to tell you, man, this is how I do this stuff. I just sit here, I hook it up, and I fiddle around with it. You thought I was going to say something different, didn't you? I fiddle around with it until I figure it out. And I play with it. And then when I see something that doesn't make sense, then I go ask questions from people who know what the hell they're talking about. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to cover that one. And Boot Devil 65, man, that is a good question. I think it was innocent. You're exposing your age with a 65 on the end. And good question, though. I like it a lot. There we are, back to the behind the scenes. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain there. All right, FLRC is shorter range. Yeah, 1,000 hertz, man. Super fast. Mostly range, but some interference variance as well. Yeah. Okay, so that was a good question by Boo Devil 65. I like those kinds of questions, man. All right, let's see. Michelle Petrus. Did I get that right? Michelle? Michael? Could be Michael. I'm Mike, my middle name. Perfect tutorial. Okay, see. You guys see. Michael, you're a favorite commenter also this week. I like the way you start. Perfect tutorial. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. This thing on? I don't hear any clapping. This will be a stable configuration for a lot of planes in the coming years. I'll gladly use those, meaning A3 Super 4, instead of the S6R. I got to tell you guys right now, my relationship with Free Sky has been strained. I don't really care for their business practices or some of the people that work for their company. But that said, the S6R is a good gyro. It does work. It's effective. But what I would say is that I do like the A3 Super 4 better. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to slam Free Sky. The S6R is a decent gyro, period. Full stop. No excuses. Now, does it do some weird things? Yes. It does some odd stuff. Like, why on channel 12, if I have my switch turned on, do you go into auto level mode? I don't understand that. That's weird. It shouldn't be that way. I think the configuration is a little more kludgy than it needs to be. I think the application is not as clear as the A3 Super 4 application is, right? There's a couple different things, but that said, and I also think the A3 Super 4 is obviously more configurable, and I like the way it recovers in the sky better. It feels smoother. It feels more natural. It doesn't feel as robotic. So with that said, the S6R is a very good receiver. Now, his question is, his comment was, I'll gladly use those in the future instead of the S6R. So I agree with that. And by the way, I've been doing what I can to try and influence certain entities in the world to produce an Express LRS combined gyro. I'm doing the best I can. But I think the A3 Super 4, for my money, is the gyro that I have in my planes right now. All of my S6Rs are out, not because they're bad. They're not bad. I just prefer the A3 Super 4 more. And because I want to use Express LRS versus D16. And that's that. Jeff says, keep in mind for ELRS PWM receivers, frame rate determines what the servo sees regardless of incoming. No, Jeff, there's on the A3 Super 4, you have control of the frame rate on the PWM output. So yes, the packet rate has nothing to do with the physical frame rate on the PWM wire, of course, but you do have the ability with CRSF to run it at 333. The PWM duty cycle is configurable on the A3 Super 4, and not all gyros allow that, right? So not all of them allow that, but the A3 Super 4 does. So you can marry up. And here's the thing. I don't think the A3 Super 4 has 333. I believe it has 360. So yes, you're right. The duty cycle on the frequency for the wire connection between the output pin and the servo is governed by the gyro. But the cool part is you can match that up pretty freaking close to what's going on with Express LRS. Hobie says, for any new guys, if you like John's content, please join him on Patreon for as little as $3 a month. It all goes back into the channel. Thank you, Hobie. Appreciate that. All right. So, yeah, SXR, decent stabilizer, not terrible, but I just like the A3 better. Okay. I wasn't referring to the gyro connection. I'm referring to the PWM output between the gyro and the servo, which is controlled by the gyro on the A3 Super 4. All right, the Kinger, he says, I've flown the new 67. This is another one of my favorite questions of the week. Having flown the 67-inch airplanes from the Skywing, do you feel there's still a case for the 60-inch version? If so, why? The answer, this is a great question, another very good question. So first off, 60-inch planes are awesome. They're very good, but the 67-inch is larger and it presents larger in the sky. So I give the point to the 67-inch on that one. The 67-inch easily handles the 6L 5000, which I really like a lot. So flight time is slightly longer. I don't think the power to weight change is so substantial on a 67-inch that you're going to see a substantial weight-based reduction in flight time. So with the 6L 5000, nice big battery, plenty of flight time. And the space for that battery is really easy on a 67-inch. The delta between the two is marginal, but the 67s are more expensive, 0.60. So yeah, you're going to pay more for the 67-inch, but it's not a lot. So, but you know, dollar for dollar, you got to give the point to the 60-inch. I mentioned the equipment deck already. Many more options in the 60-inch. That's true. In the 60-inch, you have a lot more airframes you can choose from. The 67-inch, not so many. Very few 67-inchers out there, but the ones that are coming are nice. Like the Laser by Skywing is really nice. The XR 260 we talked about, beautiful looking plane. So very nice. So 0.60 on that one because a lot more options and more color variations too, by the way. The 67, while slightly larger, is more cumbersome to deal with than a 60. It's certainly nothing like the change from 60 to 85 or 60 to 78. So 0.67. I'm saying that because when it comes to handling, it's not anywhere near handling like a 78-inch. A 67-inch feels a lot like a 60 when you pick it up and carry it around. So if you have your choice between two equal substitutes, one is 67 and one is 60, and everything else is the same, I take the 67-inch every single time. If it were not available in the airframe I wanted, I would happily take a 60-inch. They are superb airplanes. So there we go. My biggest is a 57-inch. It's an older Cub. Very nice. 57-inch, 60-inch planes fly really well. 56-inch, but the lights I added gave an extra inch. 12-foot wingspan is my biggest, says Robert. Welcome, late one. Yeah, no kidding. Robert from Canada is here. Welcome, Robert. All right. Anyway, very good question. That's an honest question, and I like that kind of question because it makes me think about, you know, how I present this material to you guys. So yeah, very nice. All right, next up, this is question number 6. Dan Dork 20, video on that Hobby Eagle gyro would be awesome. So this is kind of humorous because when this posted, I already had the video filmed, but I hadn't edited it yet. So I was filming. I had it filmed. I had the raw footage done, and I hadn't edited yet. So it's kind of funny. Dan Dork comes in and says, hey, you know, can you do a video on the gyro? I'm like, sure. All right, let's see. Number 7. Okay, this is one of those ones where, you know, I'm just going to, this is Hank Hamner 3671. He said, Edge is made for programmers. That's not true. And not for pilots who want to fly more than screw around with complex settings and programming. Not true. I converted back to OpenTX on my TX16S, and I'm glad I did. Well, that's very good. Awesome. You know, this is one of those cases where I say, and you guys know what I'm going to say, right? You're going to put it in chat. You know what I'm going to say. It's your money, your hobby. If using OpenTX makes you happy, then use OpenTX. I'm not like, I don't get a commission for every one of you guys that switches to Edge. That's not how this works. So you're not wrong. At the bottom line, he's not wrong. If OpenTX is what works for him, that's great. Use OpenTX. It's a free world. It's free. You know, do your thing. Do what makes you happy. It's your money. But it's not a true statement because at the end of the day, on EdgeTX and OpenTX, the core functionality is still pretty much the same. The inputs, mixes, and outputs, that's what I mean by core functionality. The core functionality, inputs, mixes, outputs, that's really still the same. Like there's not been a substantial difference in the way the core system operates. It's still the same. Then factor in things like global, special functions, and logical switches, also still the same. So Edge may have added a few different things into the mix, but it's still the same. So, it looks different. And so that's the part where I struggle. I don't really understand that, that connection between the two when people say Edge is more complex. Not really. It's not really. Like, sure, they added a few more knobs here and there, but I think they've done a really good job managing and dealing with the transitions. I thought they've done a brilliant job of adding new functionality and making it fairly easy to understand and customizable in response to the community. So in this is one of those cases where I just say we have to agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, if OpenTX makes you happy, that's awesome, man. Go fly OpenTX. Go fly it. Nobody's holding you back. Do your thing, man. Do what makes you happy, right? All right, let's see. Malin Hiles, he says, hey, John, I've got all my ELRS equipment set up with my old home network. Oh, this is a good one. And I realized today my receivers no longer connect since I got my new home network. Uh-oh. Now I can't update or configure my receivers. How can I get everything to go back to hotspot mode? The answer is that you just wait. If it can't connect to your home network, it should go into hotspot mode automatically. Another thing you can do after booting is press down the boot button and hold it for 10 seconds. However, that will completely reset the receiver, okay? But if you hold the boot button down for 10 seconds, you can do a full receiver reset. You can also, by the way, for those who are curious, not direct response to this question, but you can also put it into Wi-Fi mode by pressing and holding the boot button for 3 seconds after you boot. So there you go. Many newer transmitters may not work on OpenTX. Yeah, I know. You guys are all on it. You're kind of in a closed ecosystem, closed garden, slow development. I mean, all the reasons that we all switch, but those are battles that when you're in network engineering, I know that was this thing called the OSI model. It's 7 layers. It's physical, data, network, transport, physical, sessions, presentation, application layers. And then on top of those 7 layers, you also have 2 more, really 1 more, and I call it the religious layer. So a lot of times when I see stuff like that, I attribute it to the religious layer, not meaning religion as in, divine entities, but people get religious about stuff. So a lot of times when I see that, that tells me that, there's some affinity for OpenTX. Maybe that's what they learned on. They don't like change, so they stick with it, and that's fine. That's okay. It's not a crime to stick with what you know. It's fine. If that's what works for you, then fine. Do your thing. It's all good. The main thing is go fly something. That's the main thing, right? That's the main thing. Okay, so that's how you get into Wi-Fi mode or deal with a changing hotspot. All right, next up, let's see. By the way, I know that's a fact because I've made changes at the field and every single one of my receivers is set up for AP, not AP mode, hotspot mode, or not. See, I just did it twice in a row. It's set up for SSID mode. So when I'm at home, they always connect to my home network. But when I'm at the field, if I don't turn on my transmitter, the receiver will go into AP mode and I can connect with my phone. I've done it plenty of times. Okay, so that's that. All right, next up, Stephen Walker 3127 says, many thanks for this excellent video. See, part of the reason I'm doing this is training, so all you guys know how to ask questions. Also, a very well done job smoothing the ego of the YouTuber and making sure that we pay the kiss the ring, pay the homage. Very well done. Appreciate. I'm just goofing. You guys know I'm goofing around. But anyway, Stephen Walker says, thanks for the video. I have set up RQLY for signal strength on my quad. Can you tell me if it's possible to set up a warning when LQLY is low, as I will be wearing FPV goggles? Thanks again. Well, of course, that's simple. You guys been doing Edge, yeah, use the logical switch with A is less than X, A equals RQLY, X being your number. Once that's on, use a special volume. That's a pretty basic question. Then he says, thanks. This is the part where he lost me. And Stephen Walker, I just almost want to just go at someone like a spider monkey when I see these questions. Thanks for your reply. I have only had the Boxer for 2 days, still learning. Okay, so he's a newbie on EdgeTX. That's fine. Here's the part that gets me, and I just want to slap my head on the table. Is there a video that covers logical switches and special functions? Thanks for your help. For Pete's sake. Man, you guys have got to use the search function on the channel. I replied to this actually and said, let me go ahead and give you a couple links. And I sent them all my playlists. I think I have 200 plus videos between Edge and OpenTX. The probability, if you're asking a question on whether or not I've covered in a video, is probably yes. The main question is, how do you ask YouTube correctly for it? So that's the big thing. Lots of videos out there. Use the search. Please, I'm begging you. Please. Use the search. Or I'll go crazy. Literally. All right. Let's see. Joey Max says, I've owned this plane for 2 years. Have not taken it out of the box. This makes me sad. Haven't taken it out of the box other than to look things over. This really makes me sad. I wish he lived nearby. I'd say, come on out to our field, man. Let's get you flying. It seems there's so much to know about flying. I'm so intimidated about the whole thing. Don't know how to start even after watching all our videos. Ugh. All right, man. Listen, this is probably the best single piece of advice I could give anybody getting started in radio control aviation. Buy a freaking simulator. I don't care if it's real flight or if you download Phoenix Model and use the FlySky sim or the FMS sim or your Radio Master or your Boxer. I don't care. Buy a simulator. Buy a simulator. Start with a simulator, because when you buy a simulator, you can learn the muscle memory at zero cost to you and zero build time to you and zero risk to you or people you care about. Buy a simulator first, okay? Get a sim. Then, after you've spent some time on a sim, everyone's got the next one, and that's where you go to a club and ask for help. Just say, hey, can you guys, I'm new, I'm curious, I'd like to fly. Can you help me get started? And most clubs, not all, most, I know our club has certain, I don't want to get into the whole situation. I don't want to get into it. You guys know how I feel about certain personalities at my club, at the SES, but I'm not going to get into that. Let's just say that if you find a decent flight instructor, and by the way, if you don't like your flight instructor, ask for another one. Don't be afraid to do that either, because not everyone gets along with everybody. It's okay. If you don't get along with your flight instructor, say, hey, I'm not feeling it. Is there any way I can get someone else? Just be honest. I think that's the main thing. Because chances are, if you don't get along with your flight instructor, he's probably not getting along with you either, to be honest with you. So just ask for some help, man. Go to a club and ask for some help. Try and get next to somebody who's got some flying experience. And if you can, get on a buddy box. But the biggest thing that you can do, if none of that's possible, if you don't have a club nearby, or if it's simply not feasible for you to do it, get a simulator and start on the simulator. And they have really good ones. I would say, here's what I'd say. If you're going to fly fixed wing, you want to get yourself real flight, and it doesn't matter what version. Get 7.5, because to be honest with you, they're all the same. In the later versions, they put a little lipstick on it, but they're all the same. So get yourself a copy of Real Flight. 7.5 is good enough. And then if you don't want to use Real Flight, another good fixed wing simulator is Phoenix. It's decent. And I even have a video on my channel on a free simulator. Okay, so any of those three will do the job. I do not like AccuRC for airplanes, and I don't like AccuRC for airplanes. It'll do, but it's not, the physics are kind of bad. So I wouldn't use it for that. So that's fixed wing. If you want to do quads, get Liftoff. I like Liftoff for quads, and I know there are others, but I've used Liftoff, and I think for quad physics, pretty good. And then if you want to do helicopters, AccuRC is really good. So get yourself a copy of AccuRC for helicopters, okay? So fixed wing is Real Flight or Phoenix. Quads are Liftoff, helicopter, AccuRC, and FPV. If you want to do FPV, get Wings. Wings is a really decent FPV simulator, okay? Decent, good quality stuff. Get Wings for FPV. That's it. That's all four major categories. That's what you should do. Okay, so Joey Mac, man, get yourself a sim, spend some time on it, and then get yourself out to a field and go fly something. All right, that's the main thing. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. get a sim and get your behind out to a field. All right, that brings us back up to question number 1. First time on the PilotJam. I watch all your videos and OpenTX. Keep up the good work. Well, thanks, RC guy. I'm glad you made it. Glad you piped in and said hello, too. That's awesome. Can I get a channel? Desmond Shapiro is a personal friend. He did all the heli footage on Magnum PI. Oh, very cool. Nice. Wings is a great FPV racing sim. Yeah, Wings will teach you FPV. It'll help you get going on FPV. No question about it. He's a wicked awesome pilot. Very cool. Very cool. Some people at clubs will give away their old simulator software. Yeah. Yeah. You never know what you're going to run into at those clubs, man. You got to get out there and interact. You know, that's the main thing. Don't sit at home staring at a box, man. Get out there. Get out. Get the sim, get out on the field, ask people for some help, and get going, man. Journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Trevor Collins says, 2 years, that's nothing. I have a Kavan Jet Ranger I purchased in 77 still in the boxes. What are you saving it for, man? Build that thing. Fly it. Let's see. Hi, Robert. How's that shop coming along? Robert's been busy building the shop. Yeah, that's right. I still use sims. Yeah, drone pilot. I still am drone pilot's competent. He still uses sims. You got to use the sims, man. I use a sim. I fire up a sim in practice all the time. I know Freddie uses sims. Sims are the answer, man. That's the answer. Can I get a channel? How does Wings compare to Velocidrone? I haven't flown Velocidrone. All I've flown is Wings, and I can tell you Wings for FPV is solid. So there you go. Ethan and I were playing on the sim before the PilotJam. Well, Hobie, you're going to go back and play with that young man, get back on the sim. Because we're about to wrap it up. We're going to move on to the last segment, and that is coming up. So coming up is going to be the Cub video. We're going to be doing the Cub video. And after the Cub video, that's going to be me and Fred. I think I'm going to bring the F-22 out. I'll probably do some footage on the F-22 because I know the David Knutz has been looking for the F-22 footage. I do want to bring that one out and fly it again. So look for the F-22. Probably fold that in. I can't really do that with the Cub, so I might have to do a day at the field video standalone. So day at the field video, maybe with the Cub, the laser, the F-22, maybe Freddie with his helicopter, maybe that. And of course, there'll be the standalone video because that one's sponsored. So you got to do, you know, for FMS, I got to do the standalone thing. So that's what's coming up around the corner. And then I think that's it for the stuff that I know. I do have something that I want to show you guys that I have a really interesting thing that I'm working on. I can't give you the specifics yet because it's not done, but I got this little programming board and it's going to have something to do with Express LRS, and it is a world first. Like, you know, we're going to get this, I'm going to get this working, and it's coming. I'm working on it now. It's going to be a PCB board that I have to mail off to PCBWay and get it built. And this will be on there, and we're going to get this up and running, but I can't wait to show you that. That's going to be a cool little trick, and that will be an exclusive thing too. So keep an eye out on the channel for that, but that's probably still out there a little bit because we do have to go through PCBWay and submit a design. So that's that. So that's it in terms of the agenda. Oh, of course, the Extra 260 is on the way. That's supposed to be here on Sunday, and that's a plug and play. So we should expect that to probably get a first look video sometime next week. I will do a first look video on that plane. I don't do them on all my planes anymore. I always do them on sponsored planes. I don't do them on mine all the time, but that one will definitely get a first look video. Be on the lookout for that. And also want to remind you guys, again, this is just help a brother out, man. You know, help Mrs. RCVR. She tolerates all my nonsense while it's flying. And just go to her store. If you have a significant other, get her a set of earrings. Links in the description. I'd appreciate it. She would appreciate it. And just, this is one of those things, you know, help a brother out. That's all I'm saying. If you don't need any earrings for your girl, that's fine. I get it. But if you don't mind, there's that. And then keep an eye on the store. I'll be posting some more stuff like this eventually. Got the EdgeTX one coming as soon as I get some more material. I'm out of raw material, so that'll be on the Etsy store. And I have some other ideas for the Etsy store on the functional line, so be on the lookout for that. I have some functional ideas for things I like to produce, and I have not lost sight of the airplane stand. That's going to require some more design work, but I'm still working on that as well. So still have some more things coming up for the laser cutter that, you know, I don't want to just make stuff that you guys can't use, right? I want to think about things that you can use that'll make your life easier in the hobby. These obviously are trinkets, but I do want to have an eye on things that you can use that I can put out there on the store that'll be functional for you. So yeah. Oh yeah. Resin. Some of them, she's got one, she's just going to do plain, like this one's plain Hobie and that one has resin. So yeah. And different colors of resin, different color hardware. So a couple of different options out there. There'll be more. Just keep an eye on the store. She'll be adding more colors and more options. So that's that. What happened to my FMS plane stand? Oh, your plane stand. Did you win a plane stand? I didn't. Did you win one? Oh, you're going to come and get it. I see. You're going to come and you want my plane stand. I see. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what day you're coming. So we'll have to work that out, huh? David says, my wife would love those. Do a gimme. I'll tell you what, I'll do a gimme. You guys want to do a gimme? Hammer the comments with a gimme. Gimme the earrings. Gimme the earrings after the video. I'll send you a set of earrings. We'll do the same deal. It's going to be 24 hours. You guys know the rules, right? 24 hours. I'll pick the name next Wednesday, announce it on Friday, mail them out. I'll give you a set of earrings. I'm going to buy my wife a pair of those EdgeTX earrings. Oh, you know, the EdgeTX earrings, man, she might get those, I guess the modern, what do they call the extended lobes when you hang these things? That's a big set of earrings. Oh, I get it, Jeff. You're doing that for you, not for her. I get it. Very nice. Very nice. So anyway, there's the EdgeTX, and I will be putting these up as soon as I get some more raw material. Those will be on this channel too. And I've also been thinking about doing some customized stuff like Shane's hanger or Bill's hanger, Bob's hanger. So I've been thinking about some of that kind of stuff too. If you guys have any ideas you'd like to see, let me know what they are. And we'll try and see if we can put that laser to work, man. Get some more money made for the channel, you know? All right, fellas, that wraps up what I have coming up. I hope you enjoyed the Pilot Jam tonight. I know I had a good time with you guys. Lots of information out the door tonight and some fun stuff coming up. And I feel like we're kind of getting back to sanity on the video schedule. So you guys know how it rolls around here. Projects come up, we get some flying done, we'll get some videos, have a good time, and hopefully you guys keep watching those videos. Click subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know new materials hit the channel. And that's all I've got for tonight. I hope you guys get out there and have a great weekend. Go fly something. Take care.